All right, guys, so now you have your spreadsheet. It's starting to be built out.
Yeah.
You've done your competitor research. You've done your influential research. This will probably have taken you, 3-4 hours maybe, depending upon how detailed you went. You want to make sure that you spent the time that you need to in that before you move on to the next step.
Yeah.
It is absolutely crucial, like we said at the beginning, to do these steps in order, because if you don't, if you go out of order of these things, it's not going to give you the results that you want. You have to start with your market research, but before you even do your market research, you have to decide what niche you're in, what your name is going to be, and then move down the ladder. Once you've figured out your competitors and your influencers, then you're able to move into the next step, which is what we're going to be going over here, which is analyzing how they're posting, right?
Exactly.
Analyzing their posts, their captions, how often they're posting, how they're posting, and things like that. So you really have to take these steps in order and make sure that you're doing them one right after the other, and do the work. You really want to make sure that you're putting in the time. If you only spend 10 minutes researching 2 or 3 different competitors or influencers, when you go to the next step, when we're trying to analyze more and more, you're gonna run into problems. All right, so you want to make sure that you're doing this. All right, so I'm going to share my screen with you now. We're going to be going over researching photos, the content, and the pictures and the videos that your competitors and that your influencers are posting, as well as their captions, and if they're creating a call to action, how you can model after that, what they're doing right or what they're doing wrong, and really figure that out for yourself. One thing that you really want to remember with all of this is, while you definitely want to have your own creative style, you do need to pay attention to what's working. I find a lot of people that go, just because they don't know how to do something, they write it off as something that they can't do. So just because they don't know how to take a good picture, they're like, well, I'll just substitute it. I'll take the best picture I can. Or, I'm not able to do this, or you think you're not able to, and so you substitute quality for content. And while content is absolutely necessary, don't ever substitute that. If you go and look at any account that's very big and very large, 90% of them or greater have very clean bios, have very clean captions, have very clean content, and you have to make sure that you're doing that. Another thing to recognize is that the big accounts that don't have those are probably huge and were able to get there before there was so much competition, so that they were able to bypass really the competition. They could post anything. Just because a single account has success doing something does not mean you will have success doing the same exact thing. And it's super to remember.
You want to model success on a broader scale. What are different accounts that are successful doing right, and what are they doing consistently? You want to model their success. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Don't try to become Superman here. You want to have a proven step-by-step process that other people have followed and that other people have tested already, and you just model it, tweak a little things to your own personal style, and go from there.
Yeah, and it's super important. Don't try to be like, grammar doesn't matter, or this picture's a little bit blurry and a little bit. No, it's not how it works. You have to be consistent. And I see so many people that are like, well, I'm implementing all of your strategies, and I look at their page, and you're implementing 8 out of the 10 strategies, right? Or 7 out of that, whatever that is. Unless you do them all, you're going to see this much success. It's like if you have a bucket full of water, right? And it's 90% a bucket, but 10% of it has a hole in it. How much success are you going to have carrying that water from one place to the other? I mean, you might have it for a little bit, but it's going to catch up with you. You're going to run out of water. You're not going to have the success. You have to make sure you're doing all of the steps, and so many people get that wrong. So I'm going to dive into my screen now. We're going to do a little bit of research on how to spot good content, bad content, what people are doing, and analyze really kind of what they're doing, right? All right, so dive into the screen now. All right, guys, so here we are. We're back on Mr. High Class, and we're going to be researching based off of the accounts that we have already put on our spreadsheet, okay? So we're going to dive into, once again, we'll start with Luxury Spotlight. So Luxury Spotlight. The first thing we're going to look at is we want to look at his content. And we're going to see his content is pretty consistent across the board. They're all pretty sharp images, very clean, very luxury related, and images that are all you would think are going to do pretty well. Occasionally you have something that's, a little bit different. This looks like it may have been taken at a shop or a factory, but that had 4,000 likes on it, and then you go to another one that wasn't and it has 8,000 likes on it. So you can see that, this one has 5,500. You can see that the higher quality content, as a general rule, there's always an exception to the rule, but as a general rule, is going to have better content. So when you're analyzing pages, you want to look at a couple different things that you are going to be writing down. You want to write down the style of the content. The style of the content would be, what type of stuff are they posting? So if I were to analyze this account, I would say, he's posting a lot of stuff in the money or luxury related thing. Obviously, luxury spotlight, probably going to be that. But let's get a little bit more detailed than that. Where is he focusing on really? He's really focusing in on cars. Car image here, here's a car image, here's a car image, here's a car image. A majority of his posts have something to do with cars or have cars in it. I would say almost a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 ratio. So it would write down, say, luxury pictures, heavy on the cars. All of his content is clean, and for the most part, it's not like a white background. It's a darker imaged background. It's not anything with a lot of white space. It's a darker-ish style page. It doesn't have a lot of that, that white light in the background, or, something that really pops out at you in the white. If I were to put something that was a super white picture on this page, it would stand out. So you'd mark that down as a darker colored page. You're not going to be able to spreadsheet absolutely everything about every page, but you want to look at all the different pages and in your mind start recognizing, okay, what are these pages doing? What color schemes work, right? So you're looking at that and going, wow, okay, not a lot of white space on this page. We're going to write that down. He's putting luxury pictures, heavy on the car posts. The next thing we're going to look at is how many times does he post every day? So if you look here, 23 minutes ago, 4 hours ago, 8 hours ago, 20 hours ago, 1 day ago, and then 1 day ago. If you scroll back, we'll scroll down here for a little bit and start going, okay, here, let's start with 3 days ago. 3 days. So 2 days ago, you can see this picture here, 3 days. 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 This picture here, 4 days. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pictures with 3 days. So then we go to the next day. How many days did he post the day before? Going back, September 23rd, September 22nd, September 22nd, September 22nd, September 22nd, and then September 21st. So we can see just by counting the amount of posts per day, he's posting between 4 and 5 times a day. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, but as a general rule, he's posting 4 to 5 times per day. And we want to write that down because we want to see how many times a day different influencers are posting. Keep in mind, once you hit a certain level, say 500,000, a million, your posts are going to become incredibly more effective posting less. You're going to have the same results on a 500,000 follower page posting twice a day or 3 times a day as you would on a 100,000 follower day posting 5 or 6 times a day, because you have more exposure and you're still going to be getting those really good results. That being said, the more you post up to a certain amount is generally better. You want to be posting at least 4 to 6 times a day if you want optimal results. So the next thing we're going to look at is, does he have a posting pattern, right? So let's go back to his page and look at his post. By a posting pattern, we mean, is there a consistent every other one is a car post, or every other one is not a car post, or every third one is a video, or is there any pattern in his posting strategies that would stand out? I don't see any, and I'm going to show you a perfect example. On Mr. High Class's page, you can see that every other picture is a money picture. So, money, not money. Money, next to it, not money. Money, next to it, not money. And you can see if you look at this page, every other, with the exception of our new brand logo here, every other picture is a picture of something to do with money. If you look at our page and what we're doing with it, you can see that this pattern has paid off very, very well, considering we have 100,000 followers, because we realized that money pictures perform very, very well. We did all this research and we realized, wow, okay, money pictures are performing the best. We did our market research, we looked for posting patterns. We didn't find a whole ton of posting patterns specifically on money, but when we looked at the color scheme of the pictures and we looked at which pictures and which posts were doing the best, we noticed that money pictures did really, really well. However, we didn't want to have a page entirely about just money, entirely about just pictures of dollar bills. So we decided, well, every other picture seems to be working out pretty well. That allows us to still boost our engagement. As you can see, 3,477. This one, only 704. That's a really low one. Going back again, 4,000 on the money post. This one, 645. 5,973. This one, 767. So you can see that the money posts typically perform much, much better. 3,000, but then you get an occasional one, 14,000, not a money post. Very, very well performing post. And certain pictures, which we'll get to later, which we call the BPPs, or the best performing posts, do very, very well. And we're going to touch on utilizing those later. So you want to go through, you want to look if there's any consistent patterns. If there is, write them down. On most accounts, there's probably not a consistent pattern unless it's videos and pictures. For example, if we went to Elation Fitness, you can see that every other picture, every two pictures is, not Elation Fitness, Elation Football. You can see the pattern of videos. There's video, picture, video, 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 picture, video, video. So you can see a majority of what he's posting is videos, and every now and then there's a picture wrapped in there. His pattern is 4 or 5 videos, 1 picture. 4 or 5 videos, 1 picture. 4 or 5 videos, 1 picture. Not everything is going to be as clean cut and laid out as every other picture, but a lot of times you can recognize patterns of maybe it's 4 pictures, 1 video, 4 videos, 1 picture, something like that. You want to look for any patterns that seem to be working on pages that are working. All right, so we're going to be writing down the style of the content. What are they posting? So for us, if you were to go to our page and look at it, it would be money, luxury, not a lot of white space, clean pictures, sharp pictures, anything that has to do with luxury. The next thing you would be looking for is how often do we post? Mr. High Class, we try to post every 4 hours. Round the clock, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we're going to get to that time zone optimization here in a little bit. But you want to write down how often each day are we posting. The next one we're going to look at is the posting pattern. Are there any posting patterns? Do you see anything that's consistent? Write that down. Once again, you might not find very many of these, and that's okay. But sometimes you can find very, very good ones that work very, very effectively. The next thing that we're going to be looking for, and once again, you're probably going to be kind of looking at these all at once, but we want to just touch on them separately so that you understand, what we're looking for on each post. But the last thing that we're going to be looking at is consistent call to actions. Our pages consistently calling to action their followers in every post. And I don't mean like 1 post a day, or I don't mean like every once in a while. I mean consistently having a call to action. Now, what do we mean by call to action? A call to action is anything where you're asking your followers to do something, even in a subtle way. So, double tap if you like this picture. That's a call to action. Tag a friend. tag 3 friends that love blank. That is a call to action. The other thing that's very, very effective, that is a subtle call to action, is asking a question, because you want people to think about your post and comment on your post. So when you have that call to action, when you have that question, hey, what do you think about blah? Or rate 1 to 10, anything that makes them want to comment on your post, it's going to drive up engagement. And you really want people to engage in your post. And you want to look at what other people are doing to do that. So for example, if we go to Mr. High Class, this last one, time to party like it's your birthday, tag a partier. This one, gold phones and green bills, which one would you take? Going back to here, double tap if you love money. Would you rock this? Double tap if you love money. Double tap if you would drive this. You can see that every single post there is a call to action. At the beginning, when you're small, this might not be a huge return on your investment unless you have a niche account where you're tag someone that would like this. When you're small, I really, really encourage the strategy of tag someone.
Yeah.
Tag someone. Because when you're small, the more people that you get to see, the better. Double tapping, I mean, that's great. People, they're either going to do it or they're not. But when you get them to engage and tag other people, it really helps boost that visibility. So you're going to be clicking on, going through all of these profiles, every single one that you just did the research on, and you're going to be writing down whether or not they have a call to action. You will be surprised at how many people do not have a call to action. If they don't, I want you, and you don't have to write this down, you don't have to do this, but this is just a bonus thing that will really help you understand. If they don't have a call to action, I want you to look at how many comments they're getting if they're not in an engagement group. If they are in an engagement group, take away the comments that you think are in an engagement group. I would venture to say that a large majority of pages that are not having a call to action in each one of their posts that are not in an engagement group have very low comment engagements on each one of their posts.
Yeah. In fact, let's show you even another example on one of our other accounts called Elation Fitness. So we're going to go on Elation Fitness right now and see what call to actions can you do on a different niche, because maybe people might think, oh no, that's just for luxury. This applies to any niche that you're in, and that is really important that you understand. So let's take a look right here at Elation Fitness. Alright, if you want to be successful and you're willing to make sacrifices, yes or no, comment below. 35 comments. Right here, best way to spend the weekend. Tag a friend who will like to do this. 44 comments. You can see right here, what are your excuses today? Simple call to action right there. That is a subtle call to action. You see the difference between tagging a friend, you're commanding them to do something, and here just asking them what is their opinion. But at the end of the day, that's just giving call to action for them to comment on the video or the picture. And that is what you want.
Absolutely. So those are just a couple of things we're going to be looking for. In the next video, we're going to briefly show you a spreadsheet that we're in the process of building. We want you guys to see this process taking place and really understand, okay, this is something that takes time. We just don't want to show you the end result. We want to show you us, kind of building this out so that you guys can see it is a process. We cannot stress enough. This is going to be boring. Sit down, take a whole Saturday afternoon or take a day off work and commit to doing this, because you're not going to see the results until we do this. We have clients that come to us that pay us to do this exact thing because we don't just spend 1 hour doing it. On each account, we treat each account like its own separate business, and we do that research on it. And because we're willing to put the time in, 10, 12, 18 hours on one specific account, really diving deep into this and analyzing the posting and the content and the strategies and their call to actions and their links in their bio and all that, we're able to have tremendous, tremendous success. So the next video, we're going to show you that a little bit, and then we're going to move on. But I hope you guys really understand this. If you don't, go back and rewatch it. We've laid out here exactly what you need to do. You have to analyze the style of content, because once you write that down, and Once you write it down, when you're actually doing it yourself, you're actually getting a feel for that picture. When we do it for you, while it's still very effective, and we try to be even more detailed than what we're showing you in this course, we are the ones that are seeing it. When you do it, you actually get to see 90 different accounts or 50 different accounts and see in your head, okay, this works, that works, this doesn't work. I don't really like that style. And in the process of that, you're going to be able to craft your own style and craft what you're doing and craft this page to be very unique to you, which is going to set you apart in the long run.
And combine different styles of what you see and what you like. Maybe you like his style, but with this style. And then you combine it and you make your own. Again, here you're trying to model success as you go along. And while we say this is extremely boring, we're not going to sugarcoat it. But the truth is that as you do this more, you get better at it. You get better at it. And it will take less and less time. But at the beginning, obviously it will take work, time, and it's going to be boring. But trust me, when we say this, it is going to pay off.
It works, guys. It really, really does. And like he said, you get to craft those different styles. When I started Mr. High Class, I knew I wanted a page that talked about money and about lifestyle, but I didn't want to just focus on, stacks of money. And I didn't want to just focus on cars. I felt like a lot of luxury pages out there were like money or cars or, a very specific something. I wanted just to tie in that lifestyle without just focusing on, here's 150 pictures of cool cars. It's like, okay, or here's 150 pictures of just bills. Like, okay, we get it. Like, you like bills, right? So you get to craft your own style. You get to craft your own page. You got to do this work. We can only explain it to you so much before you actually have to go in there and do it. So just to recap, style of content, right? Posting pattern. How often do you post? Consistent call to actions. You can add in more. There are many more things that you can definitely add in if you think, okay, I want to know this as well, or I want to know this as well. Feel free to add on to this. Anything that you find useful, anything that you are like, I noticed this person did this, and I noticed this person did it too. Write it down. Just because we're giving you the groundwork doesn't mean we have it completely dialed in for you. We have it completely dialed in for us, but you have to create your own style to even doing the research. But make sure you at least do this much because we have laid out the steps that clearly work. So we'll see you in the next lesson.